Hello and welcome to Brilliance Today, where individuals let their brilliance shine through their stories, expertise and philosophy, because they're on a mission to make a difference and leave a legacy. Introducing Brenda Dempsey, publisher, speaker and TV presenter. Get ready.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Brilliance Today. This is where I get to talk to some of the fabulous contributors to the Brilliance magazine, which we have launched a video this very day, which is the 27th of December. So what a great way to end the year and to propel us into 2025. So my name is Brenda Dempsey and I'm the founder and CEO of Brilliance Magazine, part of the Book Brilliance Publishing Group. And I've got an amazing guest with me today, but like always, I love my guests to speak about themselves. It's one of the things that you have to learn to do as a leader. So let me introduce to you Lee-Anne Kassel. Hi, Leanne.
Hi, Brenda. How are you?
I'm great. Wow, this is going to be a high energy conversation today. I can feel it right now. So, Leanne, before we get down into a deep conversation, just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what lights you up.
Oh, well, I'm from sunny South Africa. I'm the CEO and inventor of the Kasselot Evanesse range. We've incorporated elite membranes into our mother and baby range. So what I did was I invented the first baby grow that stays dry, basically. So a lot of mothers, when they first have their babies, they need time, they need to sleep a little extra, or they're on the way to the shop and the next thing a baby has they vomit or reflux. And basically this buys you a bit of extra convenience. I found when I was a mother, I was very stressed out in the beginning when a baby cries. So Evanesse is about comfort, confidence, and all of it has our safe elite membranes. And this is what gives our product the edge over and above moisture management. Then we've got the leak-proof washable nursing pads. So those are very popular because they fit into any design bra. And washable nursing pads seem to move, whereas ours just is molded. It's got the extra technology, and it can go in with a leak-proof feeding bra. So we're uplifting women worldwide. That's Evanesse for you.
Wow, I am, as a mother of four, this is probably something I could have done with 40 years ago, when I had my young family, but absolutely, I love this, people that invent things out of necessity. And you're right, motherhood in the beginning is quite tough, and if we can take some of that, some of the obstacles out of the way, then we can get down to more quality time, bonding and getting the rest. You're quite right. Rest is absolutely critical. So, wow, I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I've got some great questions, I think. Tell us how you came about creating your membrane and things like that. People are always nosy and they want to know, well, how did you do it? What was your background? Is it in science, or how did this all come about?
So I'm a qualified bookkeeper, but at the time when this happened, I'd just given birth to my first child. I was 25, and you're young and you just go out shopping, and the next thing you have your milk. It's called letdown. So I was in a shopping center and I went to a local spa and I went and bought certain goods at the till, and the next thing there was just milk all over my shirt, and there were all these young guys gasping, and I was so embarrassed. I thought, oh my gosh. So at the time I phoned my father and mother-in-law and I said, please just go and buy me a leak-proof feeding bra. And then they all looked at me and they were like, leak-proof feeding bra? And that's when I realized there's nothing out there, because they could only buy me really a washable I think it was a washable nursing pad and obviously your disposables. Now the disposable pads, in my opinion, that was then, you know, they move, they change color, and some people say they eventually start smelling. So that's why I decided, I joined in those days. It was an Inventors Institute in South Africa, and they had a group of doctors of nanotechnology, and I spoke to quite a couple of them, and I took all their information. And then once I remember this, when you're inventing something, you need a lot of information. Or anything you do, this is what I believe. You get a group of the best and you take the best information and you bring it together. Never do something on your own and just think it's right. So once I did that, I had quite a bit of traveling involved. I then did a whole lot of prototypes, and over the years, it's taken a lot of trial and error to get perfection. It doesn't just happen.
No.
And then once I got into Cartier Women's Initiative Awards, I was the first South African finalist. I was so excited. It was my signature, the first product, first leak-proof bra in the world. Since then, it has been ripped off. You can go into the market and you'll see there's leak-proof bras, but they don't elaborate on what makes it leak-proof. I'm out there saying we've got Evanesse technology, we've got safety data sheets. It's proven. It's not harmful to the mother and baby. What makes their product leak-proof, and how good is it?
Yeah.
I've got testimonial after testimonial. And then to make things even more amazing, we got our first American patent to me, which has been...
Oh, that is amazing. That is my next question.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because at the time, did you tell us about patents? Were you able to patent it in the beginning? Because you said people have been copying you, which is a great form of flattery, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you doing now to safeguard your intellectual property?
Okay, so now this is a known fact internationally. I've got patents in South Africa, but the examination process is very different to that of America. So it's very, very well known that an American patent is more important than all the other patents worldwide, because it takes that much longer and it's that much harder to get it. So also, when you're doing any research in your company, you look at statistics. So statistically, there's about 4 million births in America. Mostly all the people can afford it there. Then you go to South Africa, where I come from. Statistically, there's only 1 million births, and there's about 6 to 10, only 350,000 can afford it. So statistically, I would lodge my patent in America too. And since then, I found out it's one of the best countries to lodge a patent, which it took a long time to get, a lot of hard work. But another way I've safeguarded it is I've got a trademark in America, and I've got trademarks in certain territories. I don't know if people out there know this. A patent takes a lot of money to keep it in force.
Yeah.
However, Coca-Cola never, it's a famous known fact. Coca-Cola, I don't think patented their formula, but it's one of the most famous words over and above Mandela's Coca-Cola, because they trademarked it. Yeah. So the way you safeguard a product is trademarks and patents.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I've trademarked some of my own intellectual property for that reason, because, you know, when you do work, people can work in, let's take the world of coaching, and you might get a leadership coach. Now, how you go about leadership is leadership. There'll be a lot of crossover, but there'll be a lot of individuality as well. And because no one's lived your life, you see. So like you and how you've started out and how you've got to where you are in your journey now, that's unique to you, not anybody else in the world. So therefore you have to protect that. So I'm delighted to hear that you're doing that and that you're going to one of the biggest markets in the world. And who knows where else it'll go. But I tell you what, motherhood, we're always going to be having babies. If we stop having babies, well, that's the end of the world, isn't it? So I think you're onto an absolute winner there. So let's look a bit more into who is Leanne, you know? So what is it about maybe you've got a story because I love storytelling. Maybe you've got a story from your earlier years, you know, maybe as a teenager or a young mum that absolutely will inspire other people to realize that not all negativity breeds more negativity. In fact, we know that from adversity and negativity, we triumph. Can you tell us one of your stories, Leanne, about a time when you've triumphed over something that at first you thought was impossible?
Well, as a teenager, this is what my dad always taught me from a young girl. If you love what you do, you can overcome anything, because if you're doing something just because you want to make money out of it, but you don't really love it, your heart's not in it, it's not going to go anywhere. So I knew, and he said, whatever you do, always get the best in the industry. So if you want to be an accountant, go for the best training or get the best example. So my dad said, always reach for the stars. So that was my that was my upbringing. And then when I won Fair Lady Businesswoman of the Year 2000, after I started, this Evanesse range for mother and baby, I was like so blown away. I just didn't expect to win. I even had a glass of wine, which I'm not like much of a drinker. And when Fair Lady Business Startup Awards in 2000 said Lee-Anne Kassel's the winner, I was like, oh my. And I went up on stage and I was quite blown away that I'd actually won this category. And then I'd realized everything my dad taught me was coming into fruition. I then, silly mistake, went and got partners in. And from being at the top of everything I'd worked for, I did, thank goodness, have shareholders agreements. I did, thank goodness, have legals in place. We landed up going into a massive legal battle for many years. And I had to then fight to get my company back. So because once again, I got the best involved, I came out on top. And I never lost goal of that, what Evanesse is going to be. It's going to be the best mother and baby, leak-proof range, keeping you dry, keeping you comfy. If I never kept that in sight, I could have easily given up in the middle of a legal battle. It's very costly, very lengthy, and it's very emotionally taxing. But you've always just got to be positive. Just stay positive.
I love that. See, you're exactly what Brilliance Magazine is about. You know, that tenacity. It's that, I did an interview the other day myself around it's like a university of optimism, and for me it's like it's seeing the silver lining in every cloud. There's always for every yin there's a yang, for every negative there's a positive. So why do we look at a half cup full? I don't think I said that. Yeah, I don't that you know what I mean. Half empty, but look, rather than half full. Actually, it's all full. I did a little video on that once before, because you've got air in there as well. So anyway, that's another story.
Oh, sorry. Success breeds success. It's kind of something you said earlier on. If you're going to look at it, besides being half empty, there was something else you said earlier on. The more you decline and you further you go into negativity, the lower your energy gets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the work of Dr. David Hawkins? Map of consciousness? Yeah. So
Yes.
I love that, you know. So I'm on my piece. I'm on creating an energy that's a vibrational piece, which is around 600. So that's
Yeah.
high vibrational work. But you've got to do a lot of work on yourself over a lifetime to get there for sure. And always have a role model. You know, who's a role model that just exudes peace. You know, they exude.
Mm.
So that's a journey I'm currently on at the moment. I've given myself 10 years. I think I've got about 3 or 4 years left to try and get to where I'm wanting to go. Uh, Hopefully, you know. So tell me, who's influenced you in your life?
I'd always say it's my dad from a young age. I can't explain it. He instilled it in me every day of my life. Aim for the best. If I got a C, he said go for an A. If I had something, it'd say no, change it. You can do better. It was always like you can do better. I suppose it's a bit of a hard way. Instead of just saying do the best you can, you always just say no, you can do better than that. So I think
Yeah,
I always say it was my dad.
yeah,
Always.
yeah, yeah. I don't know about you, but I believe in the 1% better rule. Next time
Yeah.
do 1% more. You know, instead of finishing at 5 o'clock, work to 5:15. Do 1% more. You know, do that little bit extra. Instead of doing 10
Yeah.
reps, do 11, do 12. You know, and I kind of learned that.
Mhm.
I can't say from my parents, but do you know the author Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he talks about that, the 1%. I think there's a book called The 1% More as well. You know,
Mhm.
so that just that 1% compounded over time just puts you on a different trajectory. Just like the pilot, if he moves 1 degree, he'll end
Yeah.
up miles away from where he started, you know. So don't underestimate the power of one, you know, for sure. But I want to we'll come back to the books in a minute. But I just want to ask you something else. And what when you were talking about it, I just thought you're a queen of collaboration.
Yes.
How can you inspire people to, or what tips or would you give them about the power of collaboration and why they should embrace it?
Collaboration is the power and the start of any business. So if you're gonna, let's say, start a delicious, I don't know, a cookie or a delicious, let's say, recipe book. Collaborating would be maybe getting like a brand that's well known in your company and asking in your country to a spice, and then possibly getting them to collaborate any new recipe you're starting with, or getting someone famous within your country that's known and see if they can assist you, because power equals knowledge and collaboration can only uplift you. So that's why I've gone to Cartier Women's Initiative Awards. I've entered those. I won many years of business consulting. So these people encourage you as to how to get the statistical information within your business module to go forward. I mean, for example, we know now America's got more births, but I needed Cartier and Fair Ladies Startup Business Awards gave me free consulting for a year in a business hub. It was amazing. So
Yeah,
all these collaborations just push you, and they give you that 1% you were talking about to
yeah,
push you further. Because it's very easy to get negative. It's very hard to start a business, and it's very hard to make sure that you're going to finish at the end with that number one as winner as your goal. It's not easy.
no, no, it's not, and it takes vision. So obviously you're a visionary woman. So our vision, everything in our life is we're not always inventing something new. Of course, we
Yeah.
innovative in how we go about things, but tell me, um, I love books, information, learning, lifelong learning. Every day's a school day. Which author has impacted your life?
The most.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not talking about, I'd say A.K. Rowling has inspired me the most. It's not an author that talks about how you're going to be the next powerful person. It's her life that inspired me. And how she came from nothing, from being a divorced woman, or I'm not sure the exact history, but it wasn't in the beginning that she was in a good place, but look where she turned out. And it was a vision. It was a vision that brought her, and they talk about this in the media, and I found it amazing because I think she's a very wealthy lady today.
Oh, yes.
But the truth being is authors, I can promise you now, you can read book after book. There's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
The power's going to come within. You can't actually get an author to instill what is something that you've got to succeed. It's a desire and the determination, and it's the big dedication that no book's going to give you.
And that was one of the questions that jumped to my mind early on in our conversation, because it's about the traits. How do you develop those traits? A lot of those traits are given at birth, and we develop them over time by having good role models in our life, etc., becoming resilient. And those traits, so determination and being resilient are definitely two of the traits that's helped me through my life to where I am today. And without them, and I'm sure yourself, as you said, you get a lot of knockbacks, particularly when you're doing something like a patent and you get people trying to steal your ideas and all these things. But it's rising above that, you know, it's being the cream and rising to the top, being that 1%, you know. But yeah, so books do can inspire us. But this is what I say, Leanne. Knowledge is nothing without action. I need a library of books, and if I don't take action on some of that knowledge within that books, I'm not any more clever. You know,
Exactly.
I'm being dumb. I'm being dumb. So what I say is you read a book and you take at least 3 things from that book and apply it to your life. And this is how we create our philosophy. We take a little bit of this and a little dash of that and a little sprinkling of this, and we mix it all up and we come up with our philosophy. So what would you say is the 3 most important things that a human being needs in order to achieve their goals?
Okay, I'll tell you what's kept me successful now. A powerful mind doesn't just happen on its own. It's got to go through nutrition. So I definitely have omegas 3, 6, and 9 salmons. You've got to look after your health, because once you become CEO of a company and you've been through all the stress, it pushes you into certain health categories. So keep your health always. Go to gym. Take your vitamins. Whatever you need to do, keep your optimum health, because remember, the company is not going to go forward if you're not healthy.
True.
So that to me is very important. And number 2 is, with all that stress and all the, because you're always going to have stress. There's never going to be this production stress. There's law stress. There's always, you've got to take time to breathe and relax. And I do that, like, I try and take every Sunday out for myself, and I go, okay, now this is my time. I've got to relax, and I do it. Even I do a little bit of yoga. So health and relaxation is top of the pops. And number 3 is keep yourself educated and keep yourself with the times. I go regularly into the news. You've got to see what's happening, what's trending. Who's in the social media at the moment, because your media, like, that's why we thought Brilliance magazine is the way to go, because they're happening, they're with the times. So another important thing is, once you're keeping up with the times and your marketing, obviously also learning about like my industry, nanotechnology is always evolving, it's always changing. So you've got to keep with the times, and the times these days is TikTok, for example. TikTok, all the media that's happening, and then you can only make a success, but you've got to keep informed, you've got to keep calm, and you've got to keep healthy.
Absolutely. I love that. And that they were different from what a lot of other people say, which shows me just how unique and brilliant you are, Leanne. So let's have one last question then before we go. What would you say to the 21-year-old Leanne?
What would I say to the 21-year-old Leanne? Before you go into partnership with anyone, because most of us do get partners, do your due diligence. It changed 10 years of my life. And those small little steps, Google the people you're going to go into business with, get a private detective. And I would have told the 21-year-old, don't get a partner if you don't really have to. Rather do it on your own. It's a very hard thing. You've got to have a lot more capital, but she should have looked at herself and said, you can do it on your own.
Yeah. I think there is a time for partnership, and that definitely comes as you develop. I'm sure you're finding out. But right, due diligence is everything. Due diligence.
Yeah.
We can't not trust people in our life, but let's do as much as we can. We don't have crystal balls, but you know, there are right people out there for you. That's what I say. You know, so
Yeah.
my mantra is about brilliance. You won't get talking about negativity, and when you look at out there, it's all negative because people want to keep you in fear, but actually you're more powerful when you step into your light. You know, when we step into the light, we're more powerful. When we embrace that, it's not to say we're not frightened or we don't have negative thoughts, but you know what? As leaders, as business owners, we learn how to deal with the negativity and we flip it on its head and we find the silver lining in every single nook and cranny. We shine light, we create paths of progress for others to follow till they find their own brilliance, unleash it and create their own path. So I want to thank you today, Leanne, for a number of things, for saying yes to be part of Brilliance magazine and for this journey, and long may it continue. It does take time, these things take time, but we're now launching today, the magazine's coming out, all sorts of things will be coming your way, and there'll be lots more collaboration and working together and getting to know each other more. So thank you for that. Thank you for saying that yes. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being innovative. Thank you for your determination. Thank you for your visionary wisdom. And I just hope that there's more light, that two lights coming together, two leaders coming together will create ripples of brilliance. What would you like to say, Leanne?
All I want to say to everyone out there is whatever you're deciding to do, keep inspired, keep informed, and just go for number one and keep on saying, I'm the best. I'm the best in my industry, and you'll be there.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So there you've had it, there you've heard it, you've probably seen it as well, but there's lots of pearls of wisdom in this little podcast today. Make sure you come back, find your little nugget and share with us what has Leanne said today that's really you felt it here in your heart, in that solar plexus. What is it she said that's inspired you, and what action will you take because of it, and how might your life change? Because that's why we give up our time for these conversations, because it's our duty as leaders, as CEOs of businesses, to help others find their true light, find their passion and their purpose in life. So until the next time, this is Brenda saying, be brilliant. Much love. Until the next time, to the pit.
That's it for this episode of Brilliance Today. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. For more information or to contact Book Brilliance Publishing, visit bookbrilliancepublishing.com. And remember, do different. Be brilliant.